And is fully engaged, and we welcome him to Texas to be able to address some of the issues. He had a very good meeting yesterday, met with some of those community leaders that I've already spoken to, actually seen them at the border. Today he'll be speaking about the rising, improving economy here in the United States, and some of us will have the opportunity to share some of our thoughts about the border. I think my emphasis will be fixing the problem. That's where the president's mind is. That's what he's been doing. And as a ranking member on the Border Security and Maritime Security Committee, seeing it firsthand, I introduced legislation to add more immigration judges. This supplemental has some answer to that, but I believe minimally that we should hire 70 new judges, because it is going to be difficult to reassign some of the judges from other parts of the country. That'll be one aspect of it. And then I am also committed to helping our Border Patrol agents who, by the way, told me that they were able to do their job, even though they had been called into service to put on diapers and make formula. But they were able to do their job. 70
new judges. What does that do to actually stem the flow, to stop the tide of these young people who are coming up from Central America? We've heard from a number of them that they are leaving violent, desperate situations. What will the 70 new judges do to help that situation?
Well, Craig, thank you for the question. I wanted to look at it from a holistic perspective. Obviously, you know, you've heard my comments over the past couple of days, what an emotional experience it was and how desperate these people are. And the international leaders, the UN, declared these children as internationally protected. So what we need to do is have a whole face to this. With respect to their fleeing the violence, I think it is important to have diplomatic engagements at a very high level and resources to those Central American countries to the need for those children to come. But we also realize that 85% of them are coming to be joined with family members here. This is a migration that has come about through poverty and extreme violence, threats of killing children if they don't join cartels. So you have to look at it from both ends. The infrastructure part that I was mentioning, the courts, the ICE, the Border Patrol agents' resources, are all to help these children determine whether they're eligible for asylum and whether they can be reunited with their families or whether or not they have to continue in deportation process. I will tell you it is also important to speak to America, because many of these children on a temporary basis, because of the law signed by President Bush, will have to be in our communities. And we're hearing quite diverse perspectives, some anger, some rising to our support. I'm very glad that in the state of Texas, in cities like Houston and Dallas, we have a large nonprofit community and pastors who are willing to work with us. But we're hearing ire from some of our communities, frightened about these children. So we have to speak to the public and look at it holistically. Some of these children will remain in our communities with their families. If they remain in the care of the federal government, they will be taken care of in totality by the federal government. So first, stop the violence by engaging with Central America that has been suffering from this violence. Their backs broken for a couple of years. And then on the other end, Craig, we've got to be able to deal with their care and then deal with our border. I disagree that our border is in devastating condition. Our border patrol agents are doing their job.
You think the border is secure?
Now, Craig, here's what I think. I think that you have not looked to this issue except for this rising migration.
Congresswoman, this is a very simple question. Yes or no? Are our borders secure?
I think our border, with now 21,000 Border Patrol agents, is under control. We need to give them more resources, more equipment, and they can stand to have more support as it relates to the increasing of those numbers that may come through the supplemental. There's a large amount of money for increasing numbers of Border Patrol and ICE officers, but I would not cry fire to suggest that our Border Patrol agents are not on the job. They are on the job. I have spoken to them. I have been on the border. I've been on the Rio Grande. I have been on the border at night when they only had 4,000 officers.
I want to talk about that.
It's a great chance.
Because you just got back. You just got back from the border. A lot has been made of President Obama's decision not to go to the border to see this crisis firsthand. I want to play something that two of your Democratic colleagues from Texas had to say, including Congressman Henry Cuellar and also Philemon Vela, who was on this program yesterday. I talked to him yesterday. This is what they said. Take a listen.
It's one thing to talk about it, read about it, and write about it, but it's another thing to see for yourself.
He is shown playing pool in Colorado, drinking a beer, and he can't even go 242 miles to the Texas border.
Does he have a point, Congresswoman? I mean, as someone, again, who just got back, do either one of them have a point that President Obama would be well served by going to the border?
Well, I will tell you, it is an emotional experience to go. It is an emotional experience to see children in jail, and also to recognize that my colleagues, who are part of my congressional Democratic delegation, has lived with this for a couple of months. And I fully understand. I'm still riveted by what I saw. Here's what my perspective is. I don't have the day, the time, or the hour, but I have no doubt that our president, who is focusing now on trying to get the emergency supplemental passed, will have the opportunity and will come to the border. Of course, I would like for him to come to the border, but I fully appreciate that our focus now is to move this emergency supplemental along. I don't know when it will be, but I don't expect that our president will not have the opportunity to see this at some point firsthand. He is being briefed by the Secretary of Homeland Security, the Secretary of Health and Human Services, many of us, and we know that we need resources to protect these children and to provide those extra hands, if you will, at the border. That's what I'm looking at. Again, I want to make sure everyone knows it is an humanitarian crisis. I don't think that has gone beyond the Oval Office in terms of the president not accepting and knowing that, and I am not in any way doubting his compassion for children. Our colleagues want him down there sooner rather than later, and I appreciate that.
And yourself included now, it sounds like.
I would not undermine their words. I would not undermine their words, but my perspective is that I don't expect for there to be a long, long period of time before the president is able to see this firsthand, as he is able to do so.
Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, Congresswoman, thanks as always. Always good to see you.